been here all day. The fun of Florida raining.
Well, also the Marlins lost. That's another bad thing that kind of happened in Florida. But I don't know if you're a Marlins fan, so
No one's a Marlins fan. No one watches baseball.
no one watches baseball. So,
I think the only people who watch baseball now are in New York and Boston.
New York and Boston, yeah. Well, the Yankees are doing absolute crap. I know that. Well, they're trying to bounce back, and the Mets are, the Mets are being the Mets right now. So, they're not doing bad. They're impressive this year. So I'm happy. So I'm in my satisfied state right now. The whole football season begun. I know you're a Dallas fan.
Yeah.
I know you're Dallas. And which was weird because when you said Florida at first, when I think I first met you, and I was like thinking, so you're a Miami fan, and then once you said you root for Dallas, I was like, oh, and then I was just like curious. I'm like, wait, that's just weird. Like, if you lived in Florida, most likely you'll get the like that team most likely.
Unless you were born in Texas, and in that case, you get the Cowboys.
Yeah. Or Houston.
Yeah, but they suck too.
Yeah.
They just have one good defensive player.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But let's move on from sports. You are a musician, if I can say musician, or if singing is count as doing that. My big question to you is, I know you wrote a couple of songs. How long does it take you to write a song? Like, basically on,
Depends on what it is. Sometimes I'll actually have the lyrics written from start to finish, or sometimes I'll have an instrumental made. It can take a while.
Mm-hmm. And you do everything on a program, right? Like the instrumentals and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and then all the live stuff is done differently.
What particular program do you actually use for the instrumental?
FL Studio.
Ah. Yeah, I the program I'm in actually uses Pro Tools, so, and like, that's why I'm always like, I'm curious, because, everybody uses a particular program, and what another thing going into it, what inspires you to write certain lyrics? Like, is there anything like really inspires you to go like, well, I should write a song about this, or write a song about this, or something? Like, any inspiration that comes out?
Not really. A lot of it is just like stuff, maybe it's on my mind, or sometimes it's the shrink's couch that needs to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Self there.
Yeah. So I think we covered the base of the music thing. I think I got my good 2 questions out of that.
That was 2 questions.
Yep. I want to make sure. I just. I think we can move on to. Let's go into eFed stories, because I'm curious how this will. Let's walk into. How'd you get into eFedding, and what was your first eFed that you were part of?
Well, if you want to get technical, I started in 2000-ish when it was all like not chat rooms. The hell. It was forum based basically. You would go in and you post your promo, and it was just stuff that me and a couple friends did, which I kind of don't really count as an eFed because it never really lasted longer than a month. Eventually, I just kind of noticed Tad's thing at the time, which was actually 10 years ago, when he had NGBW, which was out of AOL. Mm-hmm. It was the dice fed.
The dice, and I'm really new to the whole dice thing. You want to explain out some of the mechanics, like just minor mechanics, because me being part of that, I have the game. We can create your guy and everything, and there's no dicing and typing and all the other craziness that came with it. You
So
wanna?
it's basically like an RPG. You would do your action, you'd roll a dice, and usually a basic action, and depending on the Fed, was 2d30. So it would be two 30-sided dice,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever got the highest number would win, basically. So it's like your basic role playing type function.
So, like, if I did a move, like, I had to, we're doing a lockup. We're in a lockup. And for someone to win the lockup, I have to roll a dice, and the other person rolls a dice, and whoever gets the
Yeah,
highest out of the two wins the. Okay. That's what I want to
yeah,
make sure.
you would like get to go for an action, like go for a clothesline, and you would roll the dice, and if I would have to roll the dice to try to beat it, and if I beat it, I get to counter it.
Okay. So it goes into, okay, so I get to do the move, and then it goes into, you have to roll, and then if you surpass the number I had, or do we do another roll after we did the lockup once I say the move?
No, if I surpass your roll, then I get my action, and I would get to. I would type in a count. You would type in your thing. You would roll, and I would roll kind of to counter it. And if I got it higher, then I would type in my reverse roll into the next move.
Okay. And then it would go into a whole another thing from the counter into me rolling again, and then trying to reverse. Okay.
I mean, then you can also choose whether or not just to sell the move.
Yeah. Have you had any problems with anybody selling the move at all? I'm actually curious.
I don't think I even have 20 matches to my name in Dice because eventually I actually left and went to IWA, which is surprisingly still around in AOL, but no one goes to it. And that lasted a whole month before I kind of dipped out of e-fetting until RCWF popped up. And then that started out as Dice at first, but no one was really available. And that's when Tad just started doing the whole using SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah. Because the mechanics were there, and it seemed a lot easier than just.
It was a lot easier because you didn't have to. The worst part of this was sometimes the shows would go till 3 in the morning, and so if you're in the main event, you're sitting there and you're just waiting for your damn match to go. And I guess the only thing that kind of lingers about that now with that method is the Royal Rumble that Tad does, which can go until 7 in the friggin' morning.
And that was my big problem with the Rumble, and that's why I would never, like, those were my word when I ever went into, like, thinking of when I was in QZW, like, was that whole Rumble thing, and I was like, I'm gonna be sitting here for a while, and I really don't want to be sitting here till 5 o'clock in the morning and waiting for my number to be called, or, Was the best thing about going into the Rumbles, were they,
No, there was no best thing. It's an endurance test. I'm typically, and you can kind of attest for this, that I'm a very impatient person, and me sitting in a chat room for 6 hours doing absolutely nothing was going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, no, I understand, and it does seem like really, I don't know, it didn't even sound like you got, like, you didn't get your number at all, right? Like, when you did
I would get my number, and then just by luck of dice, I'd get eliminated, like, about maybe 30 minutes later.
Damn.
And it's like, oh, thank God that's over, and then go. No, I never really liked that, to try to get the world title shot, because I didn't like having to be in endurance matches.
Have you seen anybody, like, and this just came off the top of my head, this might sound stupid or something like that, like some guy that rolls and then, like, says, like, well, I'm going to be hanging outside for a while, and then just doesn't start typing?
I think eventually if someone does that and they just don't do anything for so long, eventually they just get you're eliminated. Like if you go an hour without saying jack, it just as your strategy to try to be one of the last ones remaining, you're going to get automatically eliminated.
Hmm.
Because someone's going to attack you and they're going to roll and and to eliminate you, and you're just going to sit there and maybe you're away from the computer and you're not going to be able to respond to it. You're going to get eliminated.
Yeah. And I kind of feel bad for people that want to do their bathroom breaks when they're going to get attacked. It's like you're going to have to run and then
it's hard to keep track of what's going on in there because in that case you got, I think, what the AOL holds about maybe 24 people, and you're focusing on all of this posting and trying to keep track of the person who's attacking you, and then sometimes there's a dick that's going to attack you too, and you don't know which role to counter.
Can you counter them both, or no? You can't counter them both.
I don't think you can because you get one roll.
So you're basically screwed on the second guy. That's weird.
About that one.
That is a very weird thing because I would think if somebody attacks you and tries eliminating you, and then the other guy is trying to eliminate you at the same time, like I would think you would get like 2 rolls because you're gonna try and counter the first guy, and you would try countering the second guy.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a logic that would come down to being one-on-one. I think Nate would probably know more on that one.
Yeah, I think I should ask. When it comes down to that. So you get out of you're in RCWF. You're in the chat thing. Let's go back onto the whole.
The chat or RCWF?
RCWF. Let's go through let's just keep on going from the RCWF chat thing, and then let's go right where we left off. Like right when I asked my question, I think that's where I think.
What was your question?
You were talking about the whole the beginning of your EFED thing, and that's where it led into.
I guess that was more when I actually started paying attention to it because I didn't have to kill myself trying to think of dice roll actions and all that. But I think it was on YouTube at first because I don't think Twitch. No, it was on. I think it was originally YouTube, and then it went to Justin.tv, which eventually turned into Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Which I think.
And that was where we kind of stuck around, and I was actually pretty decent at that because I kept getting pushed. I think I held the U.S. title for I think almost a year.
And this was when Tad was paying. You had to pay Tad for the.
No, this was before all that.
Before all that, okay. So I want to make sure because I'm trying to get my timelines corrected.
This was about 2008 when he did that.
2000. So he's on WWE WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 or whatever it is.
Because he needed a way to pay for merch and all that.
Yeah.
And that's when he came up with that. But I didn't like the idea of having to go back to the bottom of the ladder if I didn't want to pay.
Yeah, no, I can understand where you're coming from because it's you worked your ass off and you've done everything right. It sounds like, and you've been around, and then all of a sudden it sounds like when this comes around, that's where I think you might have had a difference in opinions or something.
Pretty much, and I would actually at that point I was actually a tag champion, and I said, well, I'm willing to, when I drop the belt, I'm going to leave, and he takes the belt from me anyway, and it's like, okay, fine, I guess I'm off. And I go to the land of 1,000 smiles.
And I think I remember when you debuted over there too. I think I was watching. I was
You weren't a roster yet, but
No, but I was a viewer. Yeah, I was watching.
Dear God, that was actually painful.
I remember exactly that. I think you and Hammer came together, right?
I came first, and I talked Hammer into going because Tad wasn't doing shit with Hammer, and I was getting tired of playing the boogeyman, which seems to be my little gimmick in with Tad nowadays. Even though I'm trying to tell him like I don't want to do that. I want to be basically how I am now. And nope, got to be a goofy, creepy gimmick. And then which leads to the BWC fun stuff where I basically get over by my own promos, and eventually it gets. I have to water it down because I don't want to offend the owner's wife.
Yeah, and this is before I even knew like what was going on backstage and with them or whatever they were doing. Which was interesting because because I remember and this was the when you came in, but you and Hammer came in, and then
I think we became the tag champions.
Yeah, and then the next thing is
the next thing is like I'm kind of getting the push for the U.S. belt, but Jax does this lovely little thing where he puts Dante in our group. So it was originally me, Hammer, and Steven Rogue, or Jack Gabriel, as everybody knows him now. And then Jax just says, well, we're going to put this next person in. It's like, why?
And the group was over.
And Dante pretty much, he has him screw me in a U.S. title match. I don't get any feud with him, but then immediately after, I get he has it where I'm going into the tag team championship match the same night, injured, and then I lose the match. We lose the belts to. Well, let me dig through. Oh, screw the history.
Was it Pretty? I thought it was Pretty and Phantom, maybe, or I thought it could have been.
No, let me dig through that little bit of history, even though this website hurts me to go into. There's a reason why it's the Federation's dead. Let's see if I can find me the Cure. Where is the Cure? There we go. Evil. We lose to Kimori, Kyoshu, and D.
Incredible D, right?
Actually, we win the belts from them, and then we get DWX and Tomahawk beat us. About a month later. And that was when Jack said there are no rematches for titles. And I was like, really? You son of a bitch.
But wasn't this at the end of the season, too?
Yeah, and he said no one gets any rematches. But we just lost the tag championships. But by right, we get a rematch clause. But because we weren't pretty guys, we weren't allowed to have that. Which eventually, what Hammer found out when he won the world title over there, and since he wasn't one of her guys, he ends up getting screwed actually by her.
Which sucked. And
when she inserted herself in the world title match, because we didn't want Hammer to win, nor did we want. Who the hell was he facing?
Scorpio.
Yeah.
I remember it, yeah.
But it's dead now, so.
Yeah, it's not coming back. Unless Jax is like, you know.
Dang, oh, the bitch is dead.
So then it goes into the whole Dante screwing you over, and Jax doesn't want to give you guys a rematch. So then
the only thing left is like, okay, so let's turn me heel because I can piss everybody off very easily. And I think I start off against Hammer, and then eventually with my last match with Jack Gabriel.
which was actually a good, an awesome match to.
Yeah, a good match, and then it was like at that point, I just, you know, Lamont,
Yeah, I do.
and for the people that are watching, I'm going to explain who Lamont is, and I'm not going to be politically correct about it too. He's a little retard that spouts off at the mouth and gets protected by Pretty when he says something that's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Which eventually, like, God, those damn... It led to me just completely blowing up at one of those lovely 2 a.m. meetings that Jax wanted to have.
Oh, yeah. When I joined, I think Pretty and them did a meeting or something like that. And I think and sorry to cut you off on that, but I'm and I know you were telling the story, but I think Hammer was one of the guys that vouched on me and said like, oh, he's got school the next day or something, because I was still in school like when you guys are like in BWC.
Yeah, and Jackson didn't care about that because apparently, even though his Starbucks coffee selling days, I guess he gets to come in later and doesn't need to get up that damn early. And obviously, they don't start writing the polls that early in the morning, so Pretty doesn't have to get up early.
It's a funny joke.
I like. It was supposed to be this thing in the meeting where Lamont's supposed to apologize to me for interfering in the promos that had nothing to do with him, saying stuff like, I have your mother in the trunk of my car and I just pushed the car off the bridge into the lake, and was like, what the hell are you babbling about? And he did this thing where it was like an apology but not an apology, and he was still being a retarded little Burke about it. And I just said, screw it. And just went off on him and pretty much just quit right there.
And then you had that post with the forums also.
Yeah, I posted it in the forums. I don't know, did they ever remove it?
I think they did. I believe they did.
But enough people saw it.
Yeah. So you leave BWC, and Jack Gabriel, who was Stephen Rogue at the time, also leaves with you. I know that.
Yeah, when we eventually start constructing WCE.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I'm back with Tad, but in this weird position where everybody's now holding the fact that I left for EWC against me. And I'm basically now just on the roster, no one's doing it Jack with me.
Yeah.
Which was weird because no one, I guess I would have to, if I left with a damn belt, I probably would have been welcome back. Nate.
Oh, Nate did steal the belt from me.
Yeah, Nate stole the belt right after he won it. Which is why no one wanted to give me a shot, even though I'm not a Ric Flair like that.
Yeah.
Because I was actually aside from that, I was actually having fun with the presentation. Jax could actually commentate a match. I could ignore the chat room, even though it was like second grade in there.
Yeah. And I can agree with you on that one. There was big times where like I just couldn't believe some of the stuff they were saying half the time.
That was like things like if you make him a commentator, it's just a commentator for us, we would probably get more damn ratings because he starts flipping out over shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was the one thing. That was the one positive thing I said to Jax when I had my meeting with him, is that I enjoy his commentary. It was pretty good. It was, you know, it's a lot better than mine because I botched like
Yeah.
almost every single thing, but you know, at least like, it can get me right on the right track, maybe. You know,
You are the Mike Adamley of wrestling commentary.
I'm trying to think who Mike Adamley is. That's the funny part about it.
Jeff Harvey.
Oh, okay, okay.
Raw guest, Raw GM that no one wanted. Got mad because the fans were booing him, and he got up in the middle of a live ECW and walked out.
Oh, that's not good. So then it goes into, you go from BWC back to what is now QZW, which was on Instagib, if I'm in the right timeline
It
right
was
now.
on one of them because that was the downside. Because during this time, it was like the E-Fed wars still going on between Tad and Jackson. Jack would do kind of read the chat, and it would see something that someone says like. I think it was DJ Kraft that came out with the KFC tights, and it was something that he thought was funny, and that's why Dad did it. But
Yeah.
because Jack just saw like a black man liking fried chicken, oh my God, that's so racist. No, it's funny because we all are in on the joke and we get the joke.
Yeah, like seeing like some of the gimmicks Tad has, like when I was in QZW. Like, you could see, like, he was very humorous on a lot of the jokes, and a lot of people understood everything that was going on.
Yeah, but the problem was it was starting to get more silly. Everybody kind of had to have this little gimmick, and I didn't really like it. I liked it how I was in 2007, when I was just Mike Metal. Basically, I could just say what I wanted. I didn't have to worry about trying to be creepy and go do the Oogie Boogie, and which I guess that kind of led to me just kind of telling Tad, like, I don't want to feud with Skippy Hill. This thing has been going on for 3 years. And because I shot down that feud, I'm no longer booked. That's at least my opinion on it.
Yeah, no, I understand. So then it goes into QZW, and you're in there, and then I know I'm still talking to Jack at the time, which is Steve, and I don't know.
Actually, it might have been a time where you might have still been working for him, because by that point, actually, I think we started building WCE when I kind of started talking to Jax about coming back, and
yes.
That was when he first started doing this. Oh, we'd love to have you back, and then, like, right before I do the application, he's like, "Oh, well, the guys have started talking, and we would like you to do a 9-month penalty."
Which was completely ridiculous. And and the first thing I remember was, and me and Steve are in the Skype call, and we're reading chat and how this stuff is going on, because I'm booked, and I'm trying to push Steve back because he's with me, and I'm like, yo, everything should be cool, like, literally, like, you know, if we're just gonna put this border under the bus, or, you know, do something. And then we see the chat
I'm
just
be water under the bus. He'll make the bus float away.
Yeah. And then I notice me and him notice you were just trying to come back in, and then it goes right into Steve saying, like, that's so, like, I think it was like ridiculous or something like that. Or I forget what Steve exactly said, but I know Steve said something about it that was just not right on what they were doing.
Yeah, because, like, you don't, like, it's one thing, like, you don't get pushed, but at least all I wanted was access to the room, the chat room, or not the chat room, the forum, and I wasn't allowed that. So I was like, okay, so I can't promo, so I can't get over even while I'm on probation. I can see not getting a push, but you don't want me to be, you just want me to be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
Then he, like, because after I said something to him, and he took it to the point where I was insulting his religion, and he goes, he's a faith-based man. If I'm correct, he has 2 kids with Pretty, and he's not married to her.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is something in the old book, but
I don't know. We'll probably never find out. Until that day.
It gives me a headache thinking about it. But then that's when people like Mike Burke start catching on, and I did that, and then just bury me even more.
Yeah.
Because then I started having X-Pac heat, as Ted would call it.
Yeah.
And it was like, how? Why? No. Why is everybody like? I would say stuff in the room, and people would just bash me just for talking.
Yeah, it was pretty bad when some of the stuff that I was like, when I finally just said, I'm like, I was like really surprised that like you had like that kind of heat. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
That's why I always like to say I'm the Jim Cornette of eFeds.
So then it goes into you trying to join Jax, and the probation thing that was absolutely ridiculous and everything, and then I leave.
You leave after, cause I think Jack may have been told me that you were trying to do something.
Like the only thing I was trying to do was that in my situation, and this was right after the Sandy Hook shooting, so there was like some major like messed up shit that was going on in chat, and I'm like, wow, this is like totally wrong.
Yeah, because
like,
Storm couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Like that's totally fucked up. Like like why are you saying this shit? It's like
Storm's one of those people who think Sandy Hook was was not a real shooting, and just an excuse for the Democrats to supposedly take our guns. And he's one of those idiots that bring up Building 7 every time the anniversary of 9/11 comes.
Yeah.
Well, why did Building 7 collapse? Because it got hit by plane debris and building debris, and during the same time, 8 other buildings collapsed, and no one said a damn thing about it.
And he's lucky I wasn't there around the September 11th stuff. Like he started saying that shit. Because honestly, I would have said, Jax, you better tell Storm to stop saying this shit, because I live in the state that happened, and it's ridiculous on some of the shit he's saying.
Because he's one of those people who go on the whole thing of fire can't melt steel, which makes no sense that people actually believe that, because and they never watched how a blacksmith makes a sword.
Yeah.
It weakens the steel. It's just why when they hit it with the damn mallet, they can mold it, which is what happened in the damn building, is that the steel weakened.
Yeah, because of the heat and everything. Yeah.
It's called physics.
Yeah, and he was going on a whole tangent about shooting and stuff like that, and Pretty went on to a whole, oh, he's in character, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's fucked up.
In character. Katie Vick was in character.
Exactly.
At least they knew to drop it when they offended every single wrestling fan in WWF.
And then me and Steve got pissed off and we left. And then...
Which then leads to the Genesis.
Yeah. And then I think I asked Steve, maybe like the next 2 days, I said, Mike? He goes, yeah, I know Mike. I go, where's Mike? He goes, I think he's in Tad's Fed with RCWF. Or I think it was either QZW or RCWF. I forget which one it was.
It was QZW, and then I kind of took a break, and that's when we kind of started building WCE in my little hiatus.
Yeah.
And that's when I started trying to say, like, you should kind of at least get Tad to put you in his little group, because then it gets the heat off my ass, which it didn't. And then you can at least get some of the fans, like from MUW, which was a great partnership up until someone fucked that up.
Yeah, Mr. Layberg. Unless I fucked it up, I don't know.
Burke started fucking it up, and Stereo kind of started really fucked it up.
Yeah, that problem. Yeah, there was.
That was problem. The one that ultimately killed it, because it sent Tad on a tirade. Where one of the main reasons why I'm not getting pushed is because when he made it a them or us type thing, I said, well, I'm not choosing then.
Yeah.
Like, don't you give me an ultimatum? You give me a choice to have to choose either A or B. I'm going to choose C, just to piss you off.
Yeah. Which I understand what he was trying to do and everything, and I don't know what was going on through the whole.
Well, none of it should have happened if someone kept their damn mouth shut.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. Back onto that. Goes into the, I believe, like you said, you know, we're working together now. I think June. It was June or July, and I think I asked you. I said, "Can you get me a hold of Tad?" And I think that's when, you know, the partnership started up from there.
Oh, that year, probably. But it was fine back then, up until just stupid drama with dipshit.
Yeah, and then the game craps out. Like, my Xbox and WWE 13 crapped out, I think, a couple of times.
Well, to be fair, WWE 13's a piece of shit anyway.
Yeah. And then we moved to PS3. Sorry. And then, from there, I think the rest is kind of history at this point, I think, now.
Yeah, at least with the eFeds, yeah.
Yeah. So then we move on from this topic. We move into the next topic.
Potpourri!
Let's move into Metal Gear Solid, because I know you've been playing it. I know exactly where you are. So I'm not going to say anything else.
Once I finish it, I may just start. Now that I know how to play the damn game, I can start over and try to do it legitimately. Because of course, when I didn't even bother going out to GameStop. I just downloaded it onto my Xbox.
Yeah.
Because what I got is the 360 version, and it looks pretty damn decent for the 360.
A lot of people said that the game was is good on both consoles, last gen.
It is. You're just looking. Really, you're just kind of poking at graphical enhancements.
Yeah.
Which like the 360, it kind of has that Halo thing, if you remember in like the older Halo games, where it would kind of the graphics would kind of there'd be some parts of it kind of retexturing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of happens. Not so noticeably in this game, but it does happen because it's basically dragging the 360, kicking and screaming.
Yeah. So.
But for Metal Gear, I played every damn game in the series.
So, are you enjoying Metal Gear 5? Like, is it?
Yeah. The part that pissed me off about this game, and it's only minor, is they changed the entire control map.
Yeah.
From what you're used to with Snake Eater and Metal Gear 1, 2, and 4. They did it like a first-person shooter controller.
Yeah, and I kind of understood why they did it too, because I think they were trying to bring more people into that whole fold of Metal Gear, and I think people be like, well, I like Metal Gear now, I might go back to the old ones, I think, kind of like, almost.
Well, not to mention, I don't think there's a difficulty setting until you die enough times and you get the hat.
The chicken hat, yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't alter the difficulty. Like, at least, because, dear God, the difficulty spikes frequently in this game. Up until I earned enough, like, credits to where it's like, okay, this is where everybody is. Fine, bombing raid, boom.
Yeah, I found out like through when I got up to the one of the bosses, um, the Metal Gear boss. It's kind of obvious you're gonna have to fight at some point. I don't think I really count it as a spoiler.
I came when I had to fight that. It was my nice little shit my pants moment of, oh my god, this thing may kill me.
Yeah, that took me a while to kill him. I finally figured out.
I guess you were supposed to have the honeybee, which was the homing missile, and you could probably target. I didn't have that yet. I had the basic rocket launcher.
Yeah, no. Oh, you had the first rocket launcher.
I had the second one, the Soviet one.
Yes, that's the one I used. Because I used the honeybee, and it wasn't really doing the damage I wanted it to do. So I was like, okay, this isn't doing the damage I want it to do, and I feel like I'm not even hitting the area at all that where I'm doing the most damage on. So
well, I think it depends on where you're hitting it and what it's about to do.
I know that the chest area, when it opens, it does like a good amount of damage into it. I know that if you hit the head, it does damage also, which there's actually a challenge where you have to explode the head or something like that, or destroy the head. I
went for the radar right off the bat, because just out of experience of Metal Gear.
The tubes in the back, you mean, right?
No, the big thing that was on its shoulder.
The shoulder.
I think it was the radar.
Yeah, I gotta remember what it exactly looked like with the thing.
But I was also making use of the barrels that were stacked up too.
Yeah. Like, some people said like the fight was easy. Some people said it was like it was hard. Again, it matters on your preference on how you did the boss battle exactly. I know the third stage with the thing, I kept on dying, and I was like, why am I dying? Because it always locked on to me, and then I found out something. I don't know if you found out about it. When it locks onto you, it goes into that cannon mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
usually when I see stuff flying towards me, I just dive out of the way.
Yeah.
The part that disappoints me is you don't really get it. That's really your only boss battle. Once in a while you get the ghosts and you gotta take them out, but you don't really fight Skullface. Sorry if people haven't played this game yet.
Yeah,
you don't fight Skullface. He gets crushed by a beam.
Yeah, which kind of surprises me, and I was like, okay, seriously, like, I don't get to fight him at all. He's not this big, epic, boss.
I still don't even know who he is.
Yeah, that's what I got confused on.
They gave this vague explanation as you're getting towards the battle, and like, oh, I was there to clean up the mess you made after killing the boss. Okay, so who the hell are you? You obviously were part of the CIA, but we don't know who the hell you are.
Then it had to be somebody from Peace Walker.
It was someone, at least from. Well, they were. He acknowledged Snake Eater because he cleaned up the mess from that. You don't really get a good boss fight with Volgan.
The Man on Fire?
Yeah. Which it's Volgan.
Yeah.
I knew when I saw him when it's Volgan. I don't know too much on why the hell Mantis is in it.
I know why Mantis is in it, and it explains it a little bit of it in the tapes. And that was another problem I felt too. I felt like the biggest complaint for everybody for 4 was that there was too many cutscenes and not enough gameplay. Like, it felt like a movie. I think you've said, or someone told me.
I didn't mind it. Because basically it was the end of the whole Snake series.
Yeah.
It was, so you basically had 3-4 games you had to tie up every damn loose end from.
Yeah. And then,
You had to tie up to include 3 in that.
yeah.
And I think it also included Peace Walker in it as well.
And then you got Portable Ops also.
Yeah, so you had all those games to tie up.
No,
I
actually, I'm wrong, actually. It went, Metal Gear 2, which...
Are you going back to the actual timeline, or are
Yeah,
you going
yeah,
to go
yeah,
to the
yeah.
actual...
No, I was going actually off dates because, I know the
The timeline of the series is Snake Eater, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, Phantom Pain, Metal Gears 2, Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Guns of the Patriots.
Yeah, and that would...
Then
That
no one
wraps...
gives 3 shits about Raiden.
I don't know. Raiden's not bad. And then if you want to go a little bit further, you go into Metal Gear Rising, which I don't think anybody really...
No one does. It's the game.
I know what they were trying to do, and I respect it a lot. And Raiden, I think, came off as a pretty good character.
Raiden came up as actually the entire story of the game seems so underdeveloped. You could tell that because it wasn't I don't think Konami actually made the game. I think Kojima took the game and went with someone else.
Yeah.
They were making it for. They originally made it for Konami, and then they broke away and then went to someone else to make it.
Yeah, which I thought the cool thing about the Tool thing was the whole slicing everything and Raiden using this sword and stuff like that. I was completely fine with that when I first demoed it. I was like, this is not a bad game. But and again, it's not a Metal Gear game with the stealthing and everything really.
I'd rank it up there probably in the games that don't matter, along with Snake's Revenge, a game that no one remembers.
What was going on with Snake's Revenge? Is that
Snake's Revenge is the unofficial second title of the Metal Gear series, and it was not actually made by Kojima. Once Kojima saw the game, he was so offended with what they did with his creation, that's when he created Metal Gear 2.
You mean Metal Gear Solid?
No, Metal Gear 2.
Oh, okay.
You had Metal Gear, and then Nintendo and Konami kind of joined forces and made Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge, which no one liked and Kojima hated to the point where he doesn't acknowledge it. So he made Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which you can find on the special edition of Snake Eater.
Yeah.
And it continues on the story. So Snake's Revenge, I never even played, and I probably won't ever get to play because you can't get a ROM in the damn game now because Nintendo went copyright happy.
Well, you could have just bought the HD collection. I would have got you it, and you would have got it for your Xbox.
I do have it.
Oh.
I don't have Snake's Revenge.
Oh, okay. No, wait. I thought you... That's the bad one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
The only ones I don't have is, since I don't have the PS3, I don't have 4 and 1.
Oh, yeah.
Which bugs me that Sony's making a copy, is kind of claiming that for their own.
I think, weren't they originally on the PlayStation at first? Wasn't Metal Gear an exclusive?
Metal Gear was an exclusive, and Metal Gear Solid 2 was an exclusive. Actually, Metal Gear Solid 3 was an exclusive, and the special editions like Substance and Substance were allowed onto the Xbox.
Yeah, I understand.
Then when they made that's what you get with the remastered, the HD one for the Xbox, along with Peace Walker.
Yeah, I think everybody got Peace Walker with because I got the Legacy Collection with everything basically.
But I wanted 4, but we don't, because I guess they were originally supposed to put it on for the 360, but they apparently Sony made them change their mind.
It was a Sony exclusive. I think that's what they were aiming for. It's like, it was on the PS3. It was an exclusive towards us, I don't know. I think Sony just like kind of said like, it's still an exclusive under us or something like that.
I think the reason was because I think that was made with Blu-ray technology, and at that point it was still a Sony exclusive.
Yeah. But I believe Peace Walker was made after 4. Like in the dates that when it came out. So.
I think Peace Walker came out, but right before 4.
Oh, let me look up the date actually. Let me see, because the Legacy book, the thing with the Legacy thing came out with the book that came out with all the dates of the games, and I'm actually gonna look at it right now. Hold on, give me a minute, because it might be 2010 if I'm right. Let me check. And Metal Gear Peace Walker came out 2010. 2 years after Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
So, I guess honestly, Kojima wasn't really thinking, maybe he was thinking like, I want to tell more Big Boss's story, because I guess, everybody was probably curious about, why Big Boss became this, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
Peace Walker, I haven't played it. I really want to play it, actually. It's the next thing I really want to do. Because going on to the 5th game, I can learn a lot more of the situation that went down. I know 5 will give you the explanations in tapes, in cassette tapes, of certain stuff. I know that. But that's basically majority of what 5 was more cassette tapes and less cutscenes. I felt like, which isn't that bad.
It feels like a chore trying to, like, oh, look, you got a new cassette tape. Oh, goody, I get to sit and listen. I'd rather watch to see what the hell's happening. That was kind of the other thing I kind of think takes away, is that it's divided up into episodes instead of just going by missions.
Yeah, and I felt that got kind of annoying after a while.
It got annoying once it started saying "to be continued."
Yeah.
Because what bugged the hell out of me was when it went to chapter 2, and I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh dear God, it's DLC." Because I thought I beat the game, and then it's just telling me stuff that's going to be available later, and then it pops in my head, wait, there's not going to be a later because Kojima left.
No, Kojima doesn't leave until the end of this year. So he stays on until in December. Like, so he'll be, what's it called? So he'll be working with Konami in December to make sure Metal Gear is fine for, it's a good.
Well, they just lost their Fox unit,
yeah.
So Fox is gone, so they don't have the Fox system anymore, so that they're pretty much shot if they want to make another one. They're going to try to.
Yeah.
Once like their double A titles.
Well, Konami has officially, I think, said that they're not going to be working on any AA titles anymore. The only AA title they're supposedly working on is soccer. Their soccer thing that they do, or something like that. And this comes from an article.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I want to get your opinion about the Batman series, because I know you haven't played Arkham City. Arkham Asylum.
I haven't played it, but I watched the Let's Play of it.
Did you watch it all the way through, like to the end?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can actually talk spoilers, because I feel that enough time has passed where I can actually start talking spoilers now about this game because, um, did you like the game?
I haven't actually played it yet because they're still rebuilding the damn PC
Yeah,
version, which is kind of why I would wish that they stuck to their guns and released it for the 360 like they were originally advertising that they were going to do.
yeah, and
Because obviously they could have done the same thing with a little slight graphical downgrade with like what Peace Walker, or not Peace Walker, the Phantom Pain did.
yeah,
Instead of going through this whole PC catastrophe.
yeah,
I thought it was actually worth it. I thought it was actually decent, but there's a lot of stuff that kind of kill it. Is the fact that they blatantly lied about the villain when everybody called it. Even before the damn game was released, they said it was Jason Todd,
even
and they're like, "No, no, it's not Jason Todd. It's a villain completely original to the Batman mythos."
yeah.
No, it's
I
the
do
Red
remember that.
Hood. You could have at least said it was the Red Hood and made it your, just said it was going to be your take on it. Or at
Yeah.
least kept it quiet. Batman has to face his toughest foe ever.
Was it really obvious to the point when you were watching? Because like when I started playing, and
Well,
I see him in the helicopter.
when they showed the Arkham Knight, I already went, even like in trailers, I'm looking at it going, it's Jason Todd. Then when the game starts and you hear him talking, and you're even more confident, like it's Jason Todd. You didn't even have to care about the DLC that kind of ruined that as well, but you just hear his attitude under the helmet. It's like, it's Jason Todd.
Yeah. At the first scene, I hear him, and I'm like, wow, this sounds pretty obvious. This is definitely Jason, right?
Yeah. Joker, I think the Joker storyline, even though it was good to have Mark Hamill back as it instead of Troy Baker, it was so not needed to be in it.
I agree with you on that.
It was you could tell it was shoved in just for the sake of having Joker in the damn game, which kind of takes away from it because it also makes no damn sense of why he's in the damn game. Well, Batman has his blood in him, yes, and he cured himself.
That's what threw me off. That's exactly what threw me off.
You even said that the cure worked. It just didn't get to everybody that you thought it did. Like, there was about 4 people left that didn't get the cure. Batman had the damn cure. And it was just so forced in there, and to the point where even that just agitated me.
Yeah, which
I could have seen him being used as flashbacks, like with the Jason Todd stuff, or even just like when he's injected with the fear toxin, having hallucinations of him. But having him in the damn game, pretty much in 75% of the whole gameplay, I think takes away from it.
And then they do the killing joke. I know that was thrown in
Yeah.
there also.
I don't think the killing. No, yeah, it was. That was when he shot.
Barbara in the back. And then it goes into what's it called? Because it's the time that you're rescuing Barbara, and Barbara gets kidnapped by the Arkham Knight, and then it's like going to a whole flashback of
There were a lot of cop outs in it as well.
yeah.
Like when she shoots herself in the head.
Yeah, which
I would have. Then they said, "Oh no!" At the very end, "Oh no, she's perfectly fine."
yeah.
No, you don't do that. If you're gonna try to break Batman, you make him do that, or make her see that.
Yeah, which like kind of made me laugh in a way because I was like thinking like when I'm playing it and I seen the scene and I'm like, I don't know, like and I'm going through
when I first saw the
Scarecrow's.
scene, I went, "Ooh, that's." It's like, oh shit, she shot herself.
Yeah.
Hey, this game just got dark real quick, and let's see how far it goes. Nope. No, we copped out.
Yeah.
We lost our balls. I don't also get the whole Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake romance thing, which makes no
Yeah,
damn sense
at
to
the
me.
end they get married basically when you're 100%
Because
together.
anyone who has read a goddamn comic book knows that the person she ends up actually kind of liking is Dick.
Yeah. And then it gets pushed into the DLC of Batgirl also. So
It's like, why not Tim?
I don't know. I guess they wanted to make something romantic out of it. That's the
They
funny
could have
part.
still kept it as Nightwing.
Yeah, and Nightwing's in Bloodhaven at the moment too. So
Well, he was in Gotham as well. So
yeah, my biggest problem with the game also was that I don't like the segments where it's like, hey, you need to do a mission, and the only time you're ever gonna play is Nightwing, Robin, Catwoman, or yeah, just or Azrael is only doing those missions, and I'm like, why can't I free roam with these characters? Like, this would be so much awesome if I can just free roam with this character. Batman can do whatever he wants to do. Also, if I want to free roam and do main missions and stuff like that, but if I want to do side missions, why can't I play as like Azrael, Nightwing, Catwoman's in a chamber, but if you release her, you know, you can still, you know, free roam with her or something. Like, I didn't understand the meaning of that. That was a big part that I didn't like.
I think that Warner was kind of pushing a lot of stuff onto him.
Yeah. And then comes the Batmobile.
I didn't mind that. In fact, I like it more that they've put in the DLC where you get the '89 Batmobile.
Mine that you cannot use it unless you, how should I say, complete all the tank missions, the bomb missions, and got all the command posts, basically. So you can't use that until you clear out the bombs, the tanks, and the command post things. Whatever.
You mean the DLC?
No. Yeah, the Batmobile. Yeah, that's the only time you can ever use it in free roam. Otherwise, you can use it in this race thing.
I just like that they're putting in the '89 the Batman stuff.
Yeah, it was nice.
And then I guess with the next one they're going Dark Knight, which could go the rest. I could go without being made.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that was one of the worst Batmans ever. The only good thing that came, it was a tolerable movie, and then Dark Knight was amazing, but Batman was not memorable in it.
I don't know. I liked all the Nolan movies. I thought all the Nolan movies were pretty good for Batman. I just thought...
Obviously, we all hated the voice.
Yeah.
And then when he remodeled the suit, and the suit looks goofy.
I don't know, like, the first couple of minutes it looked goofy, like, in the second movie.
The whole damn movie, it looks goofy, especially when he's in the last movie, and he's in the damn jet supposedly going to drop the nuke in the ocean. He looks towards the camera with that stupid mask, and he has a derp face going.
Derp face going.
No matter, because of how that mask is molded, he's looking at it going with a permanent derp face.
Hey, at least it's probably better than looking at Nicolas Cage being Superman.
That would be entertaining, at least. And I saw the documentary. Did you watch the documentary on it?
No, I gotta watch it. I heard it's really good.
It's actually pretty good, and the way they start describing it, it's like he might have been able to kind of pull it off had they had the shot. But what killed it wasn't like Nicolas Cage. It was the fact that this was 1997, and you just had Batman and Robin, Steel, and about 4 or 5 other movies Warner put out that bombed.
Oh yeah, I forgot Steel with Shaquille O'Neal. I was like, shit.
Batman and Robin basically killed Superman Reborn.
Yeah, I could agree with
because
you on that
Warner couldn't take the risk of how much the price tag that was going to have to be made to make the movie.
Like, come on, it was like George Clooney. The big problem, like, and I rewatched the movie before. Like,
it's still terrible.
Yeah, I could see its points where it's like, okay, this wasn't bad, but like this is what makes the movie suck. Bane's completely portrayed completely wrong through the
Bane is
whole
portrayed
movie.
as the Hulk.
Yeah, can't talk, not smart at all. He's the one that
Bruce
figures.
George Clooney plays both Bruce Wayne and Batman as the exact same.
Yeah, he doesn't really change his voice
Chris
up.
O'Donnell whines incessantly. The only person who seems like they give a shit is the actor who played Alfred. And then you just cram Alicia Silverstone in for no damn reason.
And she's supposed to be like the
Alfred's daughter instead
yeah
of niece instead of Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
yeah, which I'm like, how do you get that wrong? Like that really throws me off.
People bring in the bat nipples, which is actually not fair because they actually had the bat nipples in Batman Forever.
Yeah, that's true.
And no one acknowledged it because it was actually a tolerable movie. Because it actually, because no one even remembers it, it was produced by Tim Burton. It wasn't, even though it wasn't directed. So Tim Burton had some control over Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Which is why it was still pretty decent. And then
and
Batman Robin came, and thus the Bat credit card was born.
Yeah. And
still, it's the worst one so far is Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, no, and I can agree with that one. I can feel
like every damn you couldn't explain a plot hole. And if you how many Christopher Nolan movies have you watched outside of Batman?
Name a couple, and I might tell you if I've seen them.
Actually, the best example, The Prestige.
No, I haven't seen.
Because there's a because Christopher Nolan likes to put a friggin' twist in the movies, and sometimes the twist is actually rather stupid. In this case, well, I no bother really talking about The Prestige because you won't get it.
Yeah.
But he gets you in this point, and he writes it to the point where you're kind of wondering how the hell is Batman going to overcome all this. And because Gotham at this point, it's like about a day before the bomb goes off. It's like, oh, how is he going to get back? Well, first, how the hell does he get back? There's the fun part. Good luck explaining that. You go from a prison to the Middle East to back to Gotham in less than a day. Well, he's Bruce Wayne. He has money. No, we established in the movie that he does not have money.
Yeah.
He lost all of his money. Doesn't have any back gear because they didn't bother explaining that one.
And that had to take him maybe like a good while to get there.
Yeah, it's like, what did he call? Did he give Barry a call to give him a lift? What? The Flash.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really get it.
And I know where you're coming from. Yeah. It's like, I could think okay, he's running around in the Middle East. He might have found some kind of car, maybe something.
Explain.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I can
And then you get to have this. You might get to have this epic showdown between Bane and Batman one more time, and he gets killed by Catwoman with a cannon.
Yeah.
Then you have the twist everybody saw it coming, which was the mandatory second villain was Talia. Yeah, and everybody saw that coming. I called it in the damn theater. In fact, actually, right when she stabs Batman, I just went fucking and walked off.
Yeah.
It's like, really, were you expecting people to buy onto the Bane is Ra's al Ghul's son crap, really? Who bought into that?
Yeah. I was because I have all three movies on, and I've rewatched them again, and I'm like, yeah, this Bane doesn't come off as the child of Ra's al Ghul, so it has to be Talia. Where's Talia?
I thought it would have been better as if they kind of went with the Nightfall story, and you have Bruce Wayne take the cop and make him the next Batman. and then kind of go with what ends up happening in Nightwing is that, or Nightfall, is that Batman gets a little homicidal.
Azrael, yeah. But
Yeah,
then
and
you would have to bring in Saint. What's it called? I forget the name.
you can still alter it to kind of tell kind of the same story to the point where I guess like months upon months, maybe a year goes by, and this Batman's still around to the point where Bruce Wayne has to now take him down.
You could also did it as like Jason Todd, also in a way too, if you really wanted to. Because Jason's Batman's pretty close to what Azrael's was.
It was just a terrible movie. I'm actually looking forward to Batman versus Superman because after seeing more of Ben Affleck, I actually kind of am buying into it that he might pull it off. I'm not sold on Lex Luthor because he looks like Lois Lane could kick his ass.
Lois Lane kicks his ass.
Like, good job. You chose the guy who was in the Facebook movie,
and the guy that was in Zombieville, and
yeah, it's like
the Weakling guy. Yeah, no, I can see.
Why not the dude from Breaking Bad that everybody wanted?
Walter, the guy that played Walter White.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. That could work.
But no, we get this little twit.
I don't know. I don't think the movie's gonna really revolve. I think they were just looking for a young Luthor character to get thrown in there. You never know. He might just be thrown in there, and he might be just like doing a couple of scenes, and the next thing you know, it's like, okay, if you really want to impress me for the next movie, you better like,
Well, next year you're gonna have 2 Batman movies.
Yeah.
Because Ben Affleck's going to be in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And the rumor is with this Joker is that he's Jason Todd,
which is interesting.
Which is interesting because the reason why this rumor exists is because I guess that topless Joker pose, he has scars on his shoulders, and then the vandalized Robin suit in the Dark Knight and the Batman versus Superman trailer actually has damage to the shoulders.
And he also has the J on his cheek also. Yeah. Which I can understand. It'll be interesting.
The only part that bugs me is that everybody's buying onto the fact that Batman is asking Superman if he bleeds, and I know full well that's probably not him saying that. The rumor is Doomsday's supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
Which will be good. A different villain for Superman for once.
And then
you've only had 2 villains in a Superman movie.
Mine. This is supposed to walk you into the Justice League also.
Yeah, but they're at least making the idea to pace that for once.
Yeah.
Because originally they were going to film that movie right after this.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know?
I don't know. There's no one watching this.
It's all right. Throwing up on YouTube,
You don't upload anything on YouTube.
Yeah, I do. I upload a lot of things on YouTube. Well, as much as I can. I think we hit all the topics I think we were gonna hit. So.
I think Mad Max is one of the worst movies ever made.
Really? It was that bad?
The fact it was called Mad Max is what makes it bad.
And Tom Hardy was that bad?
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Watch it.
I really wanted to see it, and I thought I don't know. I heard mixed things off it.
Here's your thing: watch it, and your homework assignment is to explain what the hell we had to do with the entire movie.
Is this before the Mel Gibson movies, or is this in a different universe?
It's supposed to be after.
After.
but he serves no purpose to this damn movie. Zero. He has no lines other than grunting, and he maybe has one line of dialogue.
The one thing I did hear was that that girl character was the big,
Pretty much.
the
The
big
movie
thing.
would have been much. The movie would have been much better had they just called it Fury Road and made it about her.
Yeah, that would have been,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like you could make it. You could have done it the same way that you did Prometheus with Alien. Just base it out of that universe. You don't have to cram Max into it because It was otherwise it's just completely terrible. And it was too. It's too. Family friendly. I think in some spots it looks too. It's too polished. It's not. It's nowhere near what the first three were. Because the first three are violent and gritty.
I have to see. I have to see the first three. Like, I think that's the next thing I'm gonna do is watch the original three.
Someone tried to give the argument to me that, well, Max isn't the focal point in the other ones as well. Yeah, he is.
And the other two movies are like, what are they named? I know they're not named Mad Max. I know.
I think you have Mad Max, and you have the Road Warrior, then you have Beyond Thunderdome.
I've seen Road Warrior pop up once on Stars or something like that, but I haven't seen the other two. But I think we covered everything, and I thank you for being on the podcast this week.
Yep. Thanks for bringing up bad memories.
It's all right. We'll replace them with good ones. So again, I'm Tankwing, and I will see you guys next week with a new guest and everything. Mike, do you want to plug anything in?
Nothing. Just in the process of making an album, which I can't give a date on release. Because it's just technical difficulties trying to get an album made without actual support. It's being mastered, though.
That's good, at least. Like, the mastering stuff is, I know, is difficult and stuff. That's good. Have you thought of putting it on some site to promote it or something like that?
Once I get something solid down, I may keep it on SoundCloud. I may put maybe one track available for download, and then once the album's done, I may just make it. It's going to be a digital release.
And you got your Facebook, you got the Facebook page and everything, like for the support of the album.
Yeah, but I'm more or less. I barely touch my Facebook page now. I'm mainly on Twitter. Because you don't. The good thing about Twitter is it's not as restrictive.
I will most definitely put that in the bottom so people can, when they watch this, they can go to that link on the bottom with some support. So.
Okay.
And again, thank you for being a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
See you next time, guys.